Explorers, today we're going to talk about the rainbow order, and the color wheel. If you have ever seen this in my room, or I have a poster that looks kind of similar to this and it spins as well, this is a tool that artists use to help them create different colors when they're mixing paint, even crayons, mixing colors with crayons, or if you are trying to figure out what colors go together well, what colors will not look good next to each other. This color wheel tool will help you. So to begin to understand that, first we're going to look at the rainbow. So rainbow order is red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, purple. And instead of making a rainbow, we just completely wrap it all the way around to make it into a wheel so we can use it as a tool. Let me show you an example of how this can be a tool. Our coal colors, like on my shirt, are purple and yellow, or purple and gold. And so if I find purple on the color wheel and I look completely opposite the other way, I see that yellow is across from it. What that tells me is that purple and yellow are complementary colors, meaning they go together really well, they look good together. My other favorite one to see is red, and the complete opposite side of red is green, which means red and green are complementary colors. They go together really, really well. When we think of red and green, a lot of times we might think of Christmas decorations because the red and green are next to each other and they look really awesome. But the other thing to know about complementary colors is that if you mix them together, if I mix red and green together, they're gonna make a dark muddy color, kind of like brown. So we wanna be careful with colors that we're mixing, which is why we use a tool like a color wheel. Today we're gonna just look at the very basics of it and study the rainbow. Rainbows are formed when light shines through water, or when the sun shines through the rain. This light is bent and reflected, kind of like the reflection in a mirror, and it causes all the amazing colors that you see. Now, if you're looking at a rainbow, you will see those colors in a specific order, like red, orange, yellow, move those there, green, then blue, indigo, which we're going to talk about in a moment, and violet. Sometimes we call violet purple. Okay, so this is called your rainbow order. When you write out the rainbow order, you're going to take the first letter of each word. If you can write letters, I would love for you to write it out with me, maybe on the back of your paper. You can do it on the front as well. Mine's going to be on the front. But if you want it to be kind of hidden, you can put it on the back. Either way, I'm starting with a fresh sheet of paper. I'm going to write the letter R with a red crayon to stand for the color red. If you have a hard time writing letters, or you're just starting out with writing, guess what? You can just make a red mark. The next one in our rainbow order is the color orange. So you can either make your mark of the color orange or write out the letter O for orange. After that, you have the letter Y for the color yellow. So I'm gonna write a Y for my color yellow. If you cannot write your letters, once again, you're gonna make your mark so that you can still see this rainbow order. So far I have red, orange, yellow. If you put these letters together, you see the word or the name Roy. After that, we get to the letter G for green. G for green. If you're not writing letters and want to just make a mark, color a little bit of green. Next, we'll take the color blue. Blue starts with the letter B. So I'm gonna write a nice big letter B up here. And next I have indigo. Indigo is a color that you don't hear a lot about. If you look in your package of crayons, you may find one that says indigo, especially if you have one of the bigger boxes. If you don't have one, that's okay. It's really, let me show you what it looks like. I'm gonna write the letter I for indigo. It is a deep blue that looks like it has a hint of purple. So if I was gonna make my own indigo, I could color a little bit of blue and purple on top of each other. Or if I had paint, I would mix a little bit of blue and a tiny bit of purple with it. So I have red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and my last one in the rainbow order is violet. Violet, we often use the word purple, and you can see that on this crayon here. It says violet, or parentheses, purple. So after my letter I would do V for violet. So now, this is what we call an acronym. An acronym means that we have taken the first letter of each word and put them together and made a new word. So we say Roy G. Biv, and that's one way to remember your rainbow order. Now, I showed you a color wheel that I had earlier that was a fancy one that I bought, but you can also have one that maybe you make yourself. And this one would just have the 6 main colors. So we would have red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and violet or purple. Notice how we didn't put indigo in here, but this makes a nice wheel that is divided into 6 parts because it has an even number. Now we're gonna create a rainbow today, and we're going to try out our colors. Hopefully you have a box of crayons that has a couple different hues of your colors. So what I mean by that is, here is a color that says it's red, right? So I'm gonna make a little mark so you can see. I'm gonna do it on the back. And then I have another one that says it's wild strawberry. But when I'm looking at it with my eyes, I see red. So let me see what it looks like. To me, this has a little more pink with the red, okay? So this color was made by adding another color to it to give it a little bit of a pink hue, okay? I have another one here. This one is called, oh, it doesn't have a name, but it's a darker red. So it was made, this hue was made darker by probably adding a little bit of black color into it so that it went darker. So we're gonna look at our different colors and make a fun rainbow let's see. To start out, we wanna make Roy G. Biv in order, right? So the first part of my rainbow, in a rainbow shape, you usually see goes up and curves over. Now I'm not gonna do just one line because that's gonna be a super skinny rainbow. So instead, I'm gonna color, I'm taking my crayon, going back and forth, and I'm coloring over this arch. And you can figure out what pressure you want to color at. If you want to press a little harder to make it more vibrant, then just press harder with your hand so that you see that color stand out a little more. Now I'm not just going to use one, I'm going to use one of my other reds as well. So I'm going to pick another red. Here's one called Razzmatazz. I bet you this is more of a pink. Yep. It sure is. So now I have 2 different shades of red. So now I'm gonna move on to my next one, which was orange. First one I'm gonna use is my one that says orange. So it's just my regular orange. And do you notice how I'm making my lines go right up against my other one? And I'm coloring back and forth so that I get a nice thick rainbow, not a super skinny one. Now, if I leave a lot of white space in here, that's not gonna look as nice either. So make sure you're filling it in. And if you find any spots with white space, you can go back and fill them in more. Here's another shade. This one is called Atomic Tangerine. Wow, this one is a lot lighter. It's almost neon, but I really have to press hard to get this color to show up on my paper. I bet this crayon would look pretty cool on some black paper and make it stand out. All right, so far I have red and orange. Now I need yellow. My original yellow will go first. And after that, I'm gonna pick another shade. This one is called Dandelion. Dandelion is a crayon that if you have it in your box, make sure you don't get rid of it because they're not creating it anymore. But I love how deep of a yellow it is. It really shows up on that paper. And they have some other dark yellows, but Dandelion is one that they've quit creating. So then we have red, orange, yellow. Now let's go into green. Now I pulled a color that's called Inchworm. That sounds funny. To me, it looks like just a light green, but I want to show you on the paper how it actually looks a little bit more like the yellow. But my eye also sees green. So can you guess what colors were used to make this crayon? Probably some yellow and green together to create this light green that's called Inchworm. So it's bright like an inchworm. My next color I'm gonna use is regular green. Let me find it. Here we go, plain old green. There's the green we're used to seeing. Now, if you want to do more than 2 hues of a color, so I have this green hue, and I can do another green hue, so not just 2, instead I can have 3. That's okay too. You may want to make them a little skinnier. I'm gonna have a nice big thick rainbow. This adds more to my rainbow, and now I have 3 different, you can say, shades of green. This one almost looks like a blue, which is our next color in the order of our rainbow. So I bet you when they created this jungle green, they had to add a hint of blue to it. So now I'm going to switch to some blues. Here is our original blue. And the next blue I'm going to use is called Turquoise Blue. Let's see how different it is. It's a little bit lighter, and turquoise is usually made with a hint of green in it. Some people might call it a blue-green color. Woo, look how thick my rainbow is, but it's looking nice. I see lots of colors. So, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo. Indigo is a color we don't talk about a whole lot, but look at the color. We kind of lump it together with either blue or violet because it is so similar to both of them. It's hard to say, is this crayon blue Or would you consider it more of a purple, a violet? This is actually indigo. It's almost like a really dark blue with a hint of purple. So my last one I'm gonna do is violet. This crayon says it's blue violet, so we know that it's violet with a little bit of blue added to it. So I'm gonna do that one next. And my very last shade that I'm gonna do is my original violet, which we usually refer to as purple. And it says on here, violet or purple. So now I have a super fun rainbow that will help me remember the acronym of Roy G. Biv, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. And this is my rainbow order. When you're making artwork, there are a couple things that this is gonna help you with. One, it's gonna help you see how the colors transition to each other easily, and it's really appealing to your eye to see things go in rainbow order. So if I'm creating something like I did on this plate, where I am just coloring and coloring, I went mostly in rainbow order, and it coordinates really well because the colors are able to transition easily in that order. If I would have done, let's see, like green and then purple, green and then purple without the blue in the middle, it would have given me a darker color, almost a brown. So if you transfer your colors within this order, you're more likely to have what looks like a gradient, and then it won't make a muddy color, which is like when we get lots of browns in there. The other thing that rainbow order can help you see is the difference in colors and the color families. So the first half, the red, orange, and yellow, are called my warm color family. The warm colors, orange, yellow, and red, are colors that we think of as warm because they're warm like the sunshine. So if I wanted to create a sun, I could use a little bit of red and orange in there along with my yellow, and it would go really, really well. And if I mix my colors, my yellow, my orange, remember how we learned to layer our colors, and then even a little bit of red, you get a nice mix, and that reminds you of warm temperatures, like you're outside in the sunshine. The last part of this, the green, blue, and violet, and then the indigo as well, those are my cool colors. So I have a little bit of green, a little bit of blue, and some violet. These colors go really well together. They look nice next to each other. You don't have to color them on top of each other as well. And then here's some indigo. But they also mix well, okay? So, warm colors, cool colors. And when I look at these colors, I think more of ice, which is cool or cold. So that's why we call it our cool color family. When you are creating a piece of artwork, you can choose to use one half of the rainbow. Maybe you're gonna use only red, orange, and yellow to create something. And then maybe if I have a background, which I'll show you in a little bit, I can do the background in cool colors while the center is only in warm colors. So giving that separation to your artwork really helps it stand out. On this coloring sheet, I'm showing you how I'm using that rainbow or color wheel as my tool. So I have my greens, blues, and purples, and I'm coloring all the petals of my flowers and the leaves in my cool color family only. So only the cool color family is one section of my coloring sheet. The next section, which is the background, I'm making that contrast by using my warm color families. So I have the reds, orange, and bright yellows. Now that I've opened up this coloring sheet, I'm doing the opposite on the other half. So I have my cool color family as my background. And then for my flower petals, I'm using the warm color family, which is my yellows, orange, and reds, those brighter colors that are warm like the sunshine. And you can see how it gives you a nice contrast on your artwork. The next time you're coloring on a coloring page, I hope you will try out this technique where you use your warm colors in one section and your cool colors in another section. Make sure you keep your project from today, your rainbow, so that you always have your rainbow order to guide you.